Hello, guys. Ralph Perez from Horror and Coffee here. Had to jump in here because we got a little update on the news of the Omen prequel that is supposed to come out entitled The First Omen. Yeah. So, actually, is it called The First Omen? What's it called again? Hold on for a minute. Yeah, The First Omen. Correct. So we this morning I came across this on Instagram, and here it is. This is a quick look. This is like an actual image. It is the first still that gives us an idea of the movie. Gives us a shot, really. And what's amazing about this movie is that, of course, it's called the first. It's a prequel. It's supposed to be about before Damien Thorne's birth, and it stars, the girl from. If you have watched, what's the name of that movie? Not movie, series. It's a series called Servant on Apple TV Plus. I saw the series. It was an interesting one. It was kind of weird, to be honest with you. It kind of drove me a little nuts after a while, but it lasted for a bit. The crazy nanny in that series, she plays a starring role in this movie, and you could see her right there. That's her in the middle there, of the still here from the First Omen. Now look. I put this image out because I wanted to kind of look at it. I am a huge fan of the Omen trilogy of the franchise. Dismissing Omen 4: The Awakening, which has no place in the franchise. It deserves nothing but a burning garbage can somewhere in the middle of a dump. But aside from that, the first film, The Omen, from 1976, followed by Damien Omen 2 in 1978, and The Final Conflict in if I'm correct, 81, 82-ish. Those were good. And not to mention, I was pleasantly surprised by the Omen remake that came out in 2006. That was a very good remake, in my opinion, of the classic 1976 film. Now, having said all that, we have this coming with this movie, The First Omen, which is coming out. They've actually dropped the release date tentatively as being April 4th, 2024. That's this coming April. Okay? And we're already close to the end of this year, which means maybe a trailer is not too far off. At least a teaser one, right? I mean, let's think about that for a minute. That's like 5 months away, April. So, hey, let's see. Let's see if that works out. So here we have this woman, right? I forgot the actress's name, but she plays a starring role in this. Now, this picture is amazing. It's very Catholic in its design and stuff like that, which makes sense considering that the whole doctrine and the idea of the Antichrist coming before the end times, before the second coming of Christ, is a very Christian / Catholic based belief. It's one of the core beliefs of Christianity. So you see the picture of the Virgin Mary up on the wall there. She has a crown of 12 stars on her head, which is descriptive of the book of Revelation, which is mentioned a lot in the Omen movies. Chapter 12, actually, where it mentions a woman with a crown of 12 stars. That's actually where that image originated from, that reading, where she faces a red dragon who is the devil and Satan. This is in Revelation chapter 12, and then the following chapter, in chapter 13, describes the beast that comes out of the sea, and that's mentioned a lot in the Omen series. So you could see already the signs and symbols going on here. What looks like an altar, maybe not, doesn't seem that, maybe it used to be an altar. I see a cross, something like a cross in the middle of there. Now, here's the part that I don't know who um I don't know who made this image, but this is a very good image because there's a symbolism there. Um, if you see the lights on the top on either side of the picture of the Virgin, right? Those two bright lights on either side, one on the left, one on the right, and then you see the candles, the ones under the girl and the ones over the girl. If you note, doesn't that look like a face? Doesn't that look like a satanic face, like a demon going, ah, right? Like he's got a big mouth, like ah, like that, right? I'm telling you, that's what This is on purpose. They did that to give that imagery. Like, okay, yes, the devil, he's out to get you. Here comes the beast. Look out. So we got the Omen, we got the birth of the Antichrist, which is imminent in this film. Now, I've read the novel, and the novel gets quite deep into how this movie may potentially, I don't know if they're going to take notes from that novel. I think it would have been smart for them to do that because in the book, there's a chapter where it gets into very deep detail as to the years and time periods that preceded the birth of Damien Thorne, involving the two priests that help assist in the birth. They were actually servants of Satan, but they were priests disguising themselves, wolves in sheep's clothing, so to speak. One was the one that gave the baby to Robert Thorne in the beginning of the first film, Father Spoleto. And the other one was one who later repented and tried to warn Robert Thorne later in the movie, Father Brennan. In the book, he has another name, Father Tassoni. And what happened is, well, we all know what happened. It's the famous spear that comes, that long javelin-looking thing that comes on the top of the church and goes right through him and kills him in the first film. So that's a very famous kill scene there in that movie. So what we have here is maybe in this movie we're gonna get a younger version of them as they start plotting and planning how the birth of the Antichrist has come about. Now, if you remember, if you're fans of the movie and you're well versed in it, you know Damien, the Antichrist is in this story is born of an animal, a jackal to be exact. A jackal is a wild African dog, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're gonna do that in this. If they want to be consistent with the canon of the Omen series, they need to go that way. They really do. Like if they go another direction, they're gonna already ruin the whole damn thing. Thank goodness David Gordon Green's not directing this. Otherwise, he would have ruined this whole crap. This probably would be something else completely different, right? He would have been like, I don't know, Evil's born tonight. Evil's born tonight. Because he's an idiot. He should not that he's an idiot. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I take it back, David Gordon Green. Just go back to doing comedies. Horror is not your thing. It's just not. You need to walk away from that. Go back to doing Pineapple Express type movies. You're better at that. Anyway, back to this. So this looks like I love the color. I love the sepia looking imagery. It's very dark. The woman looks very dark herself. She's all in black. I don't know what that's about. Actually, I do have a theory based on her character in this. And remember in the first movie, the lady that took care of Damien, the nanny, Mrs. Baylock, that she was actually a servant of Satan and she was like protecting Damien? Maybe this is a younger Mrs. Baylock. Maybe that's who she's playing in this. Because she was also, according to the books, a participant in the birth. She was there when Damien was born as well, right next to Father Spoleto and next to Father Brennan. So who knows, right? It could be her. Now, there was another woman, in the book, there was another woman next to Mrs. Baylock that also assisted in the birth. And I'm trying to remember her name, too. I think it might have been Bialam or something. It sounded like Mrs. Baylock, but it had a different kind of, lingo to it. I don't know. I don't remember it. But I wouldn't be, if they are consistent and they want to really work from the book and draw that from the David Seltzer novel, because that's what all of these movies are based on. The characters created by David Seltzer, who wrote this incredible novel on this book. Hey, this might work. This might actually work. Now, do I have my doubts? Of course I have my doubts. This is another incredible horror franchise that they can totally ruin and run to the ground like they've done others. And we don't know. Here's another thing I want to throw out there: the time period. Based on the novel, the time period it takes place somewhere in the 1950s. So Damien was kind of born in that time period, meaning that everything before that was probably in the 40s. Somewhere between the Second World War, the end of the Second World War, and into the 50s somewhere. Of course, I might be stretching it a little bit. I could be completely wrong. They might do something completely, as far as time frame is concerned, different here. I don't know. I'm just hoping that they, again, stay consistent with the canon. That's my when you're an Omen fan like me, who knows the lore and the stuff, you can't get away with too many things with me regarding to this. Are we going to see the Seven Daggers of Megiddo here? Are we going to see Bugenhagen? Is Bugenhagen going to be in this movie? A younger version of it, maybe. Remember, this is a prequel. This could be happening, years before Damien's even born. So they could be even younger. Or it could be weeks before, days before, in which case they would be a little bit more older. And I don't know. Again, all I know is two things. One, this picture that came out, which is awesome, right? It gives. For a while there, admittingly, I didn't think they were going to actually do this. That they were not going to really go through with making this movie. I thought it was trashed. Apparently not. We even got a release date, April 4th, 2024. Oh, okay. Let's go. Let's roll with it. That's one. Two. Well, that was two, the release date. But three is, there's articles also. And I'm going to close this and show you what that article is in a minute. There's a couple articles that actually came out. And I'm going to present that article right now and just read it. It's a small article. It's a small one. But here we go. Okay. All right, here we go. So basically, it says here, 20th century has set a date to return to the world of The Omen, the first Omen, a prequel to Richard Donner's horror classic. Richard Donner was an amazing director. He also did Superman and a few other great films. It's set to hit theaters on April 5th, 2024. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was April 4th. It's actually April 5th. My bad. So it's April 5th. 2024 is when this movie is slated to be released. Of course, it is tentative. Sometimes things happen. Let's see what else it says here. It says the studio also shared a first look image of the film, which is the one I showed you, which according to the log line kicks off when, and then here's the synopsis of the movie because it's in quotes. A young American woman is sent to Rome. That's where Damien was born, by the way, to begin a life of service to the church. That suggests that maybe she wants to be a nun or something. She encounters a darkness that causes her to question her own faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate. So what I'm getting from this article synopsis is that this woman, who is played by, obviously, that girl, she goes to Rome. She's from America. She wants to be a nun. And while she's there, she gets caught up in this conspiracy, probably led by Father Spoleto and Father Brennan, to bring about, as they start planning, the birth of the Antichrist, to begin his reign on earth and fulfill the prophecies of the book of Revelation. All right. And maybe that she either tries to fight against it, or maybe she joins it. Maybe she becomes Mrs. Baylock. Who knows? Again, I don't know anything. So let's see what happens. Let's see. What else does it say here? The cast includes Neil Tiger Free, Tawfiq Barhum, Sonia Braggs. Oh, I wish I had my reading glasses. Dang. Sonia Braga, Ralph Inison and Bill Nye. And the name of the filmmaker is Arkasha Stevenson is behind the project. Ben Jacoby has a story by credit with Tim Smith and Stevenson and Keith Thomas credited on the script. David Goyer and Keith Levin produced. Okay, so those are the people that are behind the first Omen. Okay, so get ready. Get ready, all you people. This is it. Right here, Omen Prequel. First Omen shares first look, sets release date. We are ready to do this. So I'm very excited about this. Again, like I did with Exorcist Believer, I'm definitely walking into this with a note of concern and skepticism, because I don't want to presume it's going to be awesome. I'm intrigued. I never thought, to be honest with you, they would make a movie like this. I never thought they would make a prequel, so to this, at least, franchise. I found that to be different when I first found out about it. But there it is. You saw the poster, you saw the article. We have the release date down packed. So we have all these things. The Catholic theme of the image, the devil face I showed you with the candles and the lights. Who the lady is she Mrs. Baylock? Is she another person? Is Bugenhagen going to be involved? Are we going to see the Seven Daggers? Are we going to see a younger Father Spoleto, a younger Father Brennan? What are the world events that are circling around this? Don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out in April. So let me know your thoughts. Are you excited on seeing the first Omen prequel to the original 1976 classic? Talk to me, comment below, and share with me your thoughts about this interesting turn of developments regarding the release of another edition. Hopefully it will be an edition and not a reject of a great horror franchise. This is Ralph Perez from Horror and Coffee. Until next time, take care.